Let's get a 50-minute progressive class in. I'm going to be using the Hooked on Pilates arc, but you can use whatever arc you have. I'm also going to use the box. We're going to start with a long box. So you're going to need the box and an extended platform if you choose. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that extended platform. My preference with the extended platform is for hand positioning. It's much easier on the wrist. So if you have that, go ahead and hook that on now. And then I'm going to put my foot bar down. If you have the one that collapses down, it'll probably just sit right here. So you should have enough room for your hands. Hand position is entirely up to you. You can either hold it here, have it flat, or hold it on the side. And it completely depends on my mood that day. So we'll see where my hands want to go. We're going to start with a long box on, and we're going to just get into like a child's pose stretch. So I'm going to sit back in my heels. I'm going to make sure the arch is the ankle joint is off the back, and I'm just going to reach my arms forward. If you feel that just reaching your arms out is good enough, depending on your limb length, that's fine. This works well for me. And I'm just going to hold that stretch. I'm going to breathe 3 times into my spine. And then I'm going to bring my chest over my hands, and I'm going to place my hands on the side, and I'm going to kneel on a little closer to the spring side edge. I've got a medium spring, a red spring, so that's comfortable for me. You may need to play around lighter or heavier. I find heavier you go on some of these progressive flows that I'm going to do might make you slip. So make sure you've got grippy socks or use a lighter spring. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to arc forward and backward, nice and easy. My goal is to make sure as I sit back in my hips, I'm really stretching my spine. Skull reaches forward with axial elongation, and sit bones really are pulled back and down behind my heels. And last one, exhale on the stretch. Now I'm going to hold that stretch. My hands are really solid, and I'm going to just do what I call an upside down bridge, pelvic movement. So it's hip extension and flexion. And I've got that nice, strong, organized shoulders with my lats, pecs, and abs engaged. And last one. And then I'm just going to press out with my arms for 5. And you're going to notice this is a variation of knee stretches, just done on the long box as a nice little warm-up prep. I'm going to take both hands to the right. I'm going to look over my shoulder and just nice little stretch. And one more. And then 3 on the left. Looking over my left shoulder, feeling that open my lat, and kind of really just a little baby prep for the movement. 2 things, it's getting my body ready, and it's also getting my wrists ready as well. Let's face the palms flat, splay your fingers out, and just press out and in again for 5. Stay organized in the shoulders. 4, abs are in. Hip extension, so we're powering through those glutes. We're not just allowing gravity to drop our hips down. We're really engaged and controlled. Now we're going to hold that there, and we're going to go ahead and lower by going into a little bit more extension, but try not to drop the hips too low, and just in and out, little baby preps to warm our shoulders up. Just 3 reps. Don't go so far because open palms, we don't want to slip. Now hold that out there and stay out there and open and close the carriage, going into extension as we lower and then back. Extension of the spine, lengthening through the skull with axial elongation and back. And last one, and back. Now we're going to balance and shift our body weight onto our left hand as our right hand comes to the shoulder. And we're just going to simply do little single arm presses. And all this really is doing is taking our body through different ranges of motion, waking the sides of our body up, switching sides, shifting our body weight onto our left, right hand on bicep of left, and open and close for 3 reps. And then back to both hands on. This time we're going to go ahead and lift our knees up, bringing our body weight forward just slightly, and then press in and out for 5 reps. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press and hold, and pikes up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop all the way down, flatten your feet, come all the way up, stretch up, and lift up off your hips for 5. Shoulders are organized, stretching knees. 4, 3, 2, last 1. Now lower your arm, shift your body weight onto your left shin, slowly bring your right foot forward until it's on the platform, and drop down into a lunge, stretching your left hip flexor for 5 reps. Keep that left glute engaged as you lower down. And last 1. Slowly shift your body weight onto your left shin. Bring that right leg out. If you need to take your arms out to do that, you go ahead and switch and drop down. By all means, use your hands in that transition if you need until you really feel secure with that balance challenge. 3 more. Engaging that glute so we have that support to reciprocally inhibit that anterior hip. 2 more. And last 1. Come on up. Balance on that right shin bone. Arms can go out. Take that left leg up and bring it around. Have a seat. Grab your straps. Put your hands on the front of the spring side edge of that box. Walk your knees back. Extend your right leg up and down for 5. Lifting the leg from the glutes, never the lower back. My cue is to reach the toe to the riser at the back as opposed leg to ceiling. Last 1. Hold it up there. Shift your body weight onto your right hand. Bring your left up and press for 5, 4. Press down if you have any shoulder issues or it's too heavy for you. Heavier spring tension is a really great stabilizer, but also a challenge for balance. Lower the hand, switching legs, extend left leg back, and raise and lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that leg up. Shift your body weight onto your left hand as you bring it right up, and pressing forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Lower down, a little smoother than I did. Sit back in your hips. If you can cross your feet on top of each other and just sit nice and tall. Palms face forward, reach your arms forward in offering for 5 reps. 4, 3, 2. Be sure to adjust your spring tension up or down if you need to. 1. Go ahead and slowly lean forward, adjust your palms to face back, and press your arms down to the spring side edge and back. Just little presses down. Feel your abs contract. You'll feel that balance occur probably on rep 2 when your brain figures out how to stabilize properly. Press and hold. Start coming up, off. and then back down. Reach your arms back and press and hold at the spring side edge, and up and down and back, and press and up and down and back. 2 more. Press, lengthen, down, release. Last one. Press to the floor, reach to with your skull, sit back in the hips, and reach back your arms. Go ahead and put your hands back on. Slowly walk your knees all the way back. Bring yourself to where your right hand is off and your left leg is off. Just hold that there. Now, I do not want a lot of tension. I just want you to feel like you can press your right arm just so it's really, really working hard. And relax. One more time. Just press your arm just so it's working hard. You're not trying to do anything other than create some stabilization with the lats and pecs, and then switch. Extend right out. Extend, reach left arm out, and lightly have a little bit of tension. My carriage is moving a tiny bit, and relax. And again, just a tiny bit of movement to really turn that shoulder on and relax. Let's go ahead and post our left strap. Turn to face sideways and side sit in your choice, whatever feels good for you. I like to sit this way so I get that little lateral hip stretch. I'm going to hold the short loop, and I'm just going to do some elbow pulls. Get rid of that guy. He's going to come up in a little bit. Just 5 of these. Nice little transition. Now hold on with the right hand, and let's do a hug a tree. Really close that chain on the left side, so really stabilize. Just 5 reps each. Two more. Last one. Let's post the strap and flip around facing the other direction. Hold that strap with the right arm and elbow pulls out at shoulder level for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Switching arms, close that chain, and hug a trees. Really stabilize right hand on the knee. Activate that right lat and pec as the left arm finishes 2 more reps. Axial elongation really creates a length through the spine, reducing tension. Post that strap. Let's go ahead and take it down to 1 yellow. And let's stand on the extended platform now. We're going to place our hands center box, and we're going to press out into a plank. That's a control front variation, but the work is not pressing the carriage out. The work is stretching our wrists, our carpal. So you're going to organize and pull it under you for 5 and back, stretching your wrists. 4, back, 3, back, 2, keep your fingers splayed, and 1. Sit back in the hips, and then press back out for 5. Sit back in that hips, and 4. Chest back over hands every rep. Plank. Last 2. 1 more. Slowly take your right knee under, rotate, and have a seat on the box. And then jump yourself out, landing the foot on the floor. Hand on, and let's side bend stretch. And reach up. This has been one of my favorites. I've been putting in a lot of different transitions lately. So hopefully you don't get sick of this, because my body has been yearning for this in all the transitions, especially when I have the long box on. Let's do 2 more reps. And last one. Move your right hand to the opposite edge of the box. And let's just go ahead and flex at our hips and then rotate for 5. Thread the needle. 4. Get out of the shoulder by really activating that Latin pec as you rotate. And 1. Slowly turn around. 1 foot on the ground, then flip it around. And you'll notice only one of my butt cheeks is actually on. Hand on the box edge and side bend. And mermaid, full mermaid. Three more. And 2. One more. Move the hand to the opposite edge of the box from the knee. Take your right hand and flex at the hip, softening the elbow, and thread the needle for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and turn to face the front. Place your hands on. My preference is fingertips over the spring side edge, so I almost have to sit on my thumbs to do that. And I'm going to bring myself into a bent knee, butt off position. And I'm going to press out a few inches, and I'm just going to do some tricep dips for 5, 4, stabilize that carriage. It's a great back stretch when you really drop into that. 2, nice little traction. 1, have a seat on the box. Place your feet on the edge and just slowly go in and out of a little pigeon sit stretch. In and out, extending the knee, bending and straightening. Keeping the knee level, horizontal with the floor, the shin that we're stretching the hip on. And 1 more. Switch, pressing out first, ankle on and in and out for 5, 4. Keep that spine nice and elongated with your axial elongation. So really reach that skull up to the ceiling as we come in. And 1 more. Excellent. Let's go ahead and place both our feet on, stand up, and grab the edge of that platform and just stretch. Preventing our knees from locking. Even though they're straight, we're keeping them like a micro bend, a little stretch. Little softness to get a deep stretch. Have a seat, hands back on the box. Keep your hands on the front edge and slowly roll down and legs to tabletop. Interlock your fingers together behind your neck, supporting your skull. Double leg stretches for 5 and 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Hold that there. Slowly lower your legs. Really go into a nice stretch. Keep your glutes and abs on and reach and extend your spine. Go ahead and lower your feet down. Grab the straps. Pull them up. And let's go ahead and do a nice little abdominal exercise. So hands aside your hips. Go ahead and use the leverage of your legs to bring you up. Inhale, lower arms down. Exhale, reach arms up. Staying in that nice controlled balance for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Hold the arms up. Hand both of them to your right. Bring them over your head and slowly turn around. Grab the straps and face the other direction. Easier said than done sometimes, especially when you're wearing shorts that bunch up. So roll back down, legs in tabletop, and arm presses for 5, 4. If you need to choke the straps up because that yellow spring is too light, please do. If not, keep it nice and easy. 1 more. Keep your arms forward, roll down, extend your legs, and press your arms out for 5, all the way out until you get to the back of the carriage. And 4, 3, keep your abs in. 2, this last one, we're going to press out, and as we come in, tuck your knees and roll back up. Post your straps. Let's go ahead and take that long box off. Put it in front of this carriage. Go ahead and grab a pad if you need one. I'm going to grab a pad. I forgot I wanted to do a kneeling series. So grab whatever pad is appropriate for you. I'm going to grab the Pilates chair pad. If you're going to do this with your students, and just pre-set up a little pad on the platforms or next to the bed. My bad for not going over that. All right, so we're going to go. I'm going to focus on shoulder flexion and hip flexion and try to do this flat back. So let's get our nice splayed out fingers. As you'll notice, I'm going to bring my chest slightly over my fingers so I get that nice carpal stretch. Shoulder flexion and hip flexion. And back up. Shoulder flexion and hip flexion. Flat back. What I want you to focus on is your armpits and your lats are leading you, not your rib cage. Your armpits and lats are leading you so we don't end up retracting and squeezing and pinching our shoulders, so armpits. Now we're going to hold that stretch, slowly bend the elbows, bring them in and press for 5, 4, 3, 2, press and hold, come back up, take your body weight evenly onto your hands and then shift slightly to your right, extend the left leg out, extend the right arm out, and little press outs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch arms, switch legs, and press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both hands on, both knees on. Stretch down. And back up. 2 more. Stretch. And back up. We're going to add some lumbar flexion from the pelvis. So hold this stretch. Initiate with a sit bone reaching back to round the spine as you come up. And extend this spine as you go down. Start initiating with that sit bone reach to really traction and pull you in and up. And extension to go down. And initiate that nice stretch through the sit bones. And back up. Or back down. And last one. Really reach those sit bones to the back of the heels. Get that traction. Have that be what pulls you in. Excellent. Place your hands on the frame. Bring your body weight forward. And bring your right leg onto the bed. And just give me a nice little stretch. Arms can go forward. Feels really good. I'm glad I have that knee pad for this transition back onto the carriage. Slowly bring your hands back on the frame, switch legs, and sit back in that hip and really stretch. Hands back down, both knees on. I would say fist distance apart. Reach your arms forward on the frame. Organize your shoulders and extend your spine to lift, staying on your heels if you have that ability, and stretch. Only stretch as far as your shoulders do not elevate, and then extend your spine, and then shoulder extension. 2 more. One more. We're going to hold this last pull. We're going to bring ourselves forward, place both our hands on the left side, and row our arms for 5. Looking over our left shoulder, stabilizing in the hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Take your right hand, bring it back to where it was. Left hand on the frame. Side bend slightly to the right and pull and stretch for 5. Really stretch. Stay organized in the shoulders. 4. No sense in going all the way if you disorganize shoulders, so keep them really organized. 3. 2 more. Last one. And slowly sit back in your hips. Let's remove the pad. And we're going to slightly lean back. Be very careful because we're on a yellow. Place your hands on the platform. And you're going to get a little bit of a thigh stretch, shoulder opener. So adjust your hands according. I've got it to where my thumbs are slightly off. And I'm just going to bridge up, getting a thigh stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go ahead and bring ourselves to the very, very back. Grab both risers. And we're just going to hold that there. And we're going to lower our body down to where our chest is either touching or very close to the shoulder rest. And we're just going to do shoulder elevation and depression for 5. Elevate your shoulders, letting your shoulders come to your ears, and then pull them away for 4, 3, 2, keeping those elbows straight, and 1. Shoulder rolls, 5 in each direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse for 5, 4. This feels really good today. 3. I did a lot of lats in my workout yesterday too. And 1. So this really feels good. Now I'm going to go ahead and slowly bring myself up, grab the top of the risers. If you need pads because you have the metal risers, please make sure you get a set, pause, and then come back. So sit up nice and tall and then stretch back and then press to come up for 5, 4. Really lengthen with your skull. Try not to do a back bend. Try to stretch your spine, elongate it like it's an antenna versus taking that antenna and bending it backwards. Really lengthen it. And let's do 1 more. Now grab your straps and slowly bring yourself back, guided in. And let's go ahead and lie down. Let's do 2 red, like 2 medium. If this is too heavy, I give my students option on single leg, foot and strap to do maybe a red and a blue or just a red, but I'm going to work on some strength. Let's lie down, put your right foot in strap, and left leg is in tabletop. So just lower that leg down and feel, hold on, there we go. Lower the leg down and feel your right glute is powered through. I'm going to grab the shoulder rest on my opposite side to help stabilize me. And I'm just going to do my left leg single leg stretches for 5, 4, 3. Keep long on this side on that heavy load. On that heavier load, we really have to work on keeping length of the spine so it doesn't compress us. That's why I like this. Now we're going to hold that knee in, extend the leg up and lower, and then back to tabletop for 5. The whole time focusing on keeping that length so that compressive load on that spring doesn't compress our back, really using our muscles for stabilization. And 1, reversing leg up, bend knee, and out for 5, 4, stay long, 3, I'm shaking everywhere, 2, 1 more, keep that length, 1, and switch. Now, if you chose to do that on a light spring at some point in time, really feel what a heavier spring tension does as far as your need to keep that length. So let's do the other side, right leg in tabletop, left leg is down, engage that left glute, find length on that left side, single leg stretches for 5, 4, 3, keep that energy and length through that left side body, 1 more, bring the knee in, extend the leg up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse, up, bend, and reach for 5, 4, a lot of shaking going on here, 3, I'm really focusing on that length, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower yourself down, that foot down, take this spring off. I'm going to take my feet wide to where they're off the platform, and I'm going to rock my knees to the left, stretching the whole side of my body, and then anchor that right hip down to come out of it, rock to the right. Make sure when you come out of it, it's anchoring that left hip as opposed to pulling the knees up. 1 more each side. Anchor that right hip. And last one, anchor left hip. Go ahead and grab both straps. Adjust your resistance if you need to. We're going to put both feet in straps and do a couple stretches. So I'm going to hold a butterfly stretch, get myself organized, and I'm going to clasp my hands together and just kind of hold that there, get a nice little stretch. We're going to do a Peter Pan or a stag, if you know what that variation. Starting a frog, and I am a little off here. This guy needs to be a little tighter. Give me a second. Give yourself a tiny bit of a rest. There we go. Like the Prince and the Pea there. Yeah, okay. So first thing we're going to do is really make sure our hips are anchored down. Knees are wide, heels are together. Extend your right leg out without the bed moving and press both legs even together in a turnout. Bend knees in. Extend left leg out. Press forward. Reverse that frog, bring it in. Extend right. Forward with both. In, left. Forward with both. In, right. Forward. In, left. Forward. In, right. Forward. In, left. Forward. Go ahead and adjust your legs to neutral. Let's go ahead and do walking on the ceiling. So bend your right leg to tabletop with the strap on top of your shin. Always the line. Press and switch. And press and switch. I love to think of this as a single leg hamstring stretch. And it also challenges my core and my pelvic stabilization. Let's do 2 more each side. 1 more each side. Last one left. Take both hands in straps. Hold on with left hand. Slowly rotate around by pulling and come on up. Now, if you don't have the foam arc by Hooked on Pilates, I highly recommend getting one, especially for this series. This can be done on a regular arc. Let's first take the handle side edge and hang it over the spring side edge of the carriage. Unhook all your straps. And let's get to the back of the machine. Step in. I want your pelvis on it. And then you're going to get yourself to where your arms are extended out. Now adjust yourself according to what feels most comfortable on that. And gentlemen, please be careful there. So thumbs are on. Organize your shoulders. And just let's do some swims to start with. Just some little swim kicks. Let's go ahead and keep those swim kicks going. Left arm up for 10, 9. Keep yourself from shifting as best you can. 2, 1, switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Both on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Let's bring ourselves all the way back. Lower our feet down into the well and just kind of get a nice little stretch. Depending on where your body length is, you may be eating the shoulder rest, so adjust yourself according. If you're on the shorter reformers, you won't get that deep of a stretch if you have longer limbs. So let's go ahead and bring our legs back up. Let's go ahead and organize our shoulders, lift up in extension, open and close our legs for 10, widen and narrow, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stretch. I'm going to slide down a little bit more, drop my head, let my arms stretch down, and just like a rag doll, just stretch and hold for 10 seconds. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I love the soft foam arc. Let's go ahead and side sit in a plank. I'm going to adjust myself. I'm going to put my headrest down, and I'm going to adjust myself. Now, there's no spring, so you want to make sure you're either holding on to the upright or the frame itself. Get yourself nice and long. Lift both your legs up. Hold that lift. Lift the lower rib, lengthen your spine, and raise and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Imagine doing this on a hard arc. 4, 3. No need to pad the side hip with this. 1. Go ahead and switch. Get yourself positioned. Side hip. Legs up. Get organized. Ribs lengthen through the skull for 10 of these, I think. 9, 8. Can't remember if I just did 5 or 10, but we'll do 10. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Have a seat on it, and then place your feet on the frame. I'm going to lower down without sliding off, and I'm just going to stretch back until my head is on. Now, if you have the hip flexor strength, hip flexor flexibility and core strength and glute strength, go ahead and hold the uprights. If you need to pillow and prop your head because that's uncomfortable, I'll do that for a lot of my students that lack that thoracic extension. If you have good thoracic extension, you won't be dropping your head like this. you'll be able to just really stretch over it. So if you have that, great. If not, please prop your head, hold on to the riser, extend your legs out, and be very careful. If your glute strength is not there, you'll easily hurt your back. So if you have to leave one foot on the ground or on the frame, you do it. Hold yourself up really strong and lower your legs and hold that there. I'm getting a huge stretch. I'm getting tons of glute work. My abs are really ripping apart, and I'm really feeling that breath stretch my abdominals. So I'm feeling that navel raise up. Now go ahead and rest. Put your feet back on. Now, as I mentioned, if that is too intense, please leave one foot on the frame and then switch the legs the second round. You're going to feel, if you've ever done this is a translation from the ladder barrel that I brought onto the reformer, and I absolutely love to do, but I want to make sure that if your anterior side of your body is really, really tight, this will put the load right in your back if you're not supporting your legs with your glutes. So again, find your thoracic extension, length of your spine, hold on, engage your glute on the right, engage your glute on the left, and lower down. Try not to let your legs rest. Get them as low as you can, as long as the stretch is anterior and not hyperextending your back. Glutes are on, really holding my support. Feet are touching the ground now. And for me on the clinical, that's a great stretch. Taking some nice sips in to really get that navel lifting up, to get that stretch. 2 more. 1 more. Slowly bring your feet back in and just hold that there for a moment. If you need to put your hands behind your head and just kind of support yourself like that, go ahead. There are limitless things you can do with this. Slowly lower yourself down. Make sure you're all the way to the back. I'm going to lower my right knee down and just hold myself there for a second. I'm going to place my hands behind me, push myself up to come out of that, have a seat on the frame. If you don't have one of these soft foam Mark, please get one. You're going to fall in love with it as much as I did. I have, and my students love it too. And you'll see me use it quite a bit. So be sure, if you have any questions about the foam arc and its applications, either leave a comment under this video or send me a message via the contact page on the website. Whew, that was good. All right, so let's just let's cool down for the last 15 minutes. That was a nice little full body. Let's do 1 yellow spring. Now, when I say cool down, I mean stretch, keep it moving, keep it active, but don't chill out too much. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves to the back of the reformer. Grab the gear side, bringing it back to you. This can be done with no springs. So let's just do hip flexion and shoulder flexion. Get that stretch like we did when we were kneeling earlier, and back up, pressing with the lats to return for 5. Nice stretch. Knees are soft, hips are back. 4, I always talk about this with my students as the bottom of the bend and snap. And you would not believe how many people have seen that movie, and everybody gets that. So really use that cue if that works for your students. Soft knees down to the bottom of that bend and snap, and press to come up. 1 more. And if you don't know my reference, leave a comment and I'll answer it at another time. And 1. Go ahead and put both hands, so I'm shifting my body weight back so the transition is easy. Both hands on the left, rotate and stretch. Feel like your right ear is listening to something on the ground, and press to come up for 3 reps. 2. And 1. Right hand on right shoulder rest, left hand over there, and listen with your left ear for 5. 4. Or no, 3 reps, sorry. If you haven't noticed already, I have a little ADHD when I'm teaching. And slowly grab the gear side on both. Let that come back. And let's go ahead and come to the front. We're going to have a seat with our feet on the box. Depending on your limb length, I'm going to move my box slightly forward. Grab that chair pad if you need it. If you have sensitive tailbone, hands are going to be on. And make sure that your sit bones, just like when you do the chair exercise, this is a translation from the chair exercise onto the machine I've done, is to put the sit bones at the front. Make sure we're not rounded to start with, and roll hips and use abs to come back. Roll hips to roll down, and skull with axial elongation lifts us up from our abs for 5, 4. Try not to collapse, so really reach sit bones, and then reach skull. Reach sit bones, and reach your skull. Stretch forward, bring your arms forward, stack your spine up, bring your arms back, and roll down. Stretch forward till your arms come up. Extend, arms back behind you to get your hands, don't collapse. Initiate with a sit bone roll. Once your hands are on, go all the way back. Reach your skull up with your abs until you come all the way up. Arms forward, stack your spine, arms back. Initiate with hips rolling under to get your hands on. And 2 more. Using your abs always to bring you out of that. And 1 more. Good. Go ahead and side sit. I'm going to move the box out of the way. I'm going to hold one leg over the side, one leg extended out. This again is a chair exercise. Translated onto the reformer. 5, 4, 3, 2 more. And last one. Let's switch sides. 5. My cue is always to reach that arm from the ribs to the ceiling when we do that stretch. I don't want to side bend and collapse into this stretch. I want to reach up from the ribs. 2. 1 more. And let's go ahead and come all the way up. Let's put that foot bar to standard position. So with the clinicals, I call this position 2. And we're going to do 2 red, headrest up. Let's do 2 red springs and 1 blue. 2 red and a blue. I'm actually going to take it vertical. If you can get yours vertical, that's great. That's just going to get you more range of motion. If you don't have that ability to go vertical on the foot bar, just scoot your butt closer to the spring side edge. Now, what I just did there is a transition I like to do because I'm always challenging my abs. So I'm going to roll down, lift my legs up, and I'm just going to pivot and then roll down. So let's place your heels on, press out, left outer ankle on top of your right thigh. Guide the knee down without lifting that right hip, and just in and out for 10. 9, keep the hips anchored to your best ability. They may roll up a tiny bit, but just try to feel some weight. If you only can go halfway in before your pelvis wants to roll up and smash your back down, try to limit your range of motion. Go where you're feeling the stretch in the hip, not tucking and lifting the hips up. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. Press and hold. Left heel on, right outer ankle, left thigh. Guide the knee down, level the pelvis, and in and out for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, One more. Press and hold, left heel on, bend both knees, feet together, knees wide, butterfly stretch, point feet forward. So that concludes today's 50-minute class. I hope you enjoyed the transitions, the progressive transitions, and the flows from one exercise to another. Go ahead and take your legs up, start rolling up, grab the foot bar, and then swing your legs around. So, a couple things I want to address. When doing transitions, you can pepper in any of my flows. So I've got quite a few. If you go to the search menu at the top and type in flow, all my flows will come up. I think originally when I first launched the website, there was 50, and I'm continuing to add more. So try to play around with that. You may see some of the long box stuff and say, hey, you know what? I remember he did this and this with that, so I'm going to add that in. So please get creative when you're doing these classes. Whether you're coming in and just doing the full-length classes or the express workouts with me, or if you're a teacher and you're wanting to add this into your class, get creative and play around with the different flows and what you can add on to them. Be sure to leave comments under the videos. That's really important to me because this website is for you guys. And so I need the feedback to know what it is you want. Make sure you favorite the videos that you're watching that you really, really like, so they stay in your favorites library. And if you have any questions that you want to ask me, you don't want to leave in the comment section, send it to me in a private message via the connect link. And then once it says connect, and then go down to contact, and you can leave me a private message there. And don't forget, I am available at times when my schedule permits for a one-on-one virtual lessons. Thanks for watching.